Yeah. Let me just read a little come on the comments, and I'm going to look at then we look at the video on the screen, right? Kenneth Norville is saying, in this day and age, all one needs to be able to do is read, write, and comprehend, and the sky is the limit. The technology is available to teach and facilitate. So I'm going to come back to ask you guys that, whether we think, should people then finish their secondary school education, and talk about, should they be doing CXCs. Now, I have a different view on that from a lot of people with these CXCs, but I want to know, do you think that in this 2025 we should still be doing CXCs? And how important is that primary education and secondary education? Think about that, guys. We're going to talk about that. Aaron Hunt says, many inventors and great people never went to university nor college. Why Walk said, some young people do not have structure, and therefore going to YouTube may not work for some. Right? Zico, what do you say about that?
Yes, I do agree. I do believe even in terms of the CSCs and what's not, it really shows the ability to actually commit to study. So I believe it's necessary. I don't believe it should be abolished. Having the ability to comprehend, read, and write is very important. And having a certificate showing that you basically, well, I should say, is competent enough to be able to read, write, and comprehend is very necessary. It does show that you are able to do a particular task. So I think it's necessary. I just think that when we start talking about going into the tertiary levels in terms of studying certain subjects is where things get a little fuzzy. And there's so much technology, as Dawn mentioned. I mean, like, information's at your fingertips right now, at your fingertips. And I think we're coming to a place where we're utilizing it effectively. And I believe I've seen generations before me in debt still to this day, in the 50s and 60s, still in debt due to university, has not accomplished some of the same things that our generation has accomplished much in a shorter time. So I do believe that, yes, having CXCs and this is very important because it does show your commitment to study, which I do believe is very important, especially for young teens.
Yeah. Stephen Knight says, you go to university, come out with a degree, and owning $500,000, owing $500,000 or more, and can't find a job to maintain yourself.
That's in America, though. You don't really
that's
find
America.
Bajans with that $500,000 university bill. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Those who study overseas, right? Yeah. What somebody said, I had no secondary school education, but now a joiner, and people are educated, then they come to me for advice. But this is another thing, and this is something that we see often, Janine, where a lot of people, they don't go to they might not go to any secondary school, but people like myself, you went to secondary school, then you do 2 degrees and whatever, you still have to go to somebody who didn't go to, and you understand, Theirry, to ask for advice, so it is, yeah. Well, I think we're gonna pause from some of these comments. Dave, can we look at the video very quickly just to wrap up this segment and we move on? Dave, no? Okay, right there.
We don't learn from reading, we learn from experience, and that's why our school system is a broken system. Let's be honest, guys. Most of what's being taught in school can now simply be Googled, or you can ask ChatGPT. So school doesn't make sense anymore because life isn't lived on paper, it's lived in the real world, and we're not being taught how to live in the real world. We were taught maths, but not how maths is actually integrated into our very existence so that it makes sense to us. Why are we learning this? We were taught dates in history, but not how to create a new future. There's no class on how to grow your own food. There's no class on how to deal with heartbreak in relationships. And trust me, all of us would have needed that. There's no class on how to manage money with integrity. No class on how to process grief, how to deal with death, how to know when your body is saying yes or when it's screaming no, or how to trust yourself more than authority, or how to live in harmony with earth and not just extract from it. This is the curriculum of real life. We have not been trained how to live in real life. We have been trained to obey, not to create. We have been trained to follow instructions, but not ask better questions. We need a new kind of education, not more information, but more initiation.
Hmm. Interesting, very, very interesting. And that is the video that I watched that sparked this. Before we close off this segment, anybody has anything that they particularly want to say about this whole issue of university and education and types of education, how we now educate ourselves in 20. Go ahead, Theirry.
For me, I agree with the video wholeheartedly because, pertaining to maths, I have my moments where I'm good at maths, I'm bad at maths, but I love maths. But the thing about it is that throughout school, I don't know if anyone else had that experience, but you would ask a teacher a question, they would tell you, well, it doesn't need to focus on this concept, but you're becoming curious about certain concepts, but they can't necessarily explain it to you or they don't want to. So they tell you, well, they want you to do A, B, C, D, F, G. Yeah, but if your brain is going past that point, not necessarily you understand what's right in front of you, but you're getting curious, and someone shuts down your curiosity, and you're just being an obedient student compared to being a creative or even a critical thinker, right? So for me, I firmly believe, as I said before, the education system needs to change and become more um, incubated, right? In tech, we call it tech incubators, but across the board, that's what we need. Even in culture, they could be certain, they have cultural workshops, but we're not cultural um, execution platform whereby we look at those students who are individuals, teaching them how to be better influencers. Like something that
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to doing is that in America you have the name, image, and likeness, right? I think that's what the term is. Yeah, name, image, and likeness, basically, and NILDs, right? So what are those? Pretty much, basically, you have the athletes. They're growing their following, and they can make money from their name, the image, and their likeness. So
Mm-hmm.
me, I feel like that we have students or athletes here who are not taught how to actually grow their brand. That's where you don't see the sporting
Mm.
fraternity growing in this country. So you just use that as an example.
Yeah. These the comment is these comments are hilarious. Um, so Michelle is saying, Michelle said in the video, the woman in the video, what school did she go to? Well, she probably didn't, but then she sounds very intelligent. Do you think? Some people said she sounds liberal, delusional. This person is generalizing education and socializing are vital aspects of life. And Pedro is saying, Pedro, you don't know the lady that she'll soon say that men can get pregnant. Oh Lord have mercy, Pedro, Pedro,
It's
Pedro,
probably
Pedro.
the different color hair that as soon as some people see that, they would just tune out Marcia.
Yes, I know, but I thought that she was saying a lot of very, very important things. And I know, our society, Janine is built on, most of our poor parents were not educated and or were living in poverty, and so this is how people came out of it. So to remove that bedrock from them, Janine, it's difficult for older person like myself. I'm learning to accept it because I've seen it with my son finish university, not doing anything that he did at university. Well, that's just one, but he learned a lot of what he's doing now from YouTube.
Hmm.
It's where we learned a lot of it, and of course on set with me being practical. But I mean the finer things he learned on YouTube. And I see you shaking your head there, Janine. Any final thoughts on that?
Yes. So I just wanted to mention, you were saying something about earlier about the not only about that, but about the removing the CICs and stuff like that. I don't
Oh
think that
yeah.
it should be. I think that the school system could improve in some aspects. We can add in more practical stuff, even for children. I mean, nowadays you don't really see children going on tours or anything like that anymore. Majority of children now are only classroom based. And I think that element is missing to go outside and to be able to experience stuff that you would have learned in the classroom. Up to secondary school, you can still do the CSCs. I there are other things being done right now in schools, which I agree with. People are more focusing on what people can do with their hands and stuff. So that is a really good move, because as you were saying, there are some persons who will go and go into university after, and then they turn around and do different things. Sometimes though, I was not going to say this. I agree with Bell here that some they were not formally educated, but they learned experience and practice. So the same thing for us right now. We would have saw you guys. We learned that some of you would have went to university and you then came out and did different stuff. And we just want to get straight to what we want to do. So if we have to go the shorter route of learning it on YouTube or ChatGPT or any other way that we can access the information, we would do so.
Yes, yes. All right, guys, there's another video that Dave is going to prep to put up, because I know some of you are going to have to leave soon, and we want to do 2 more things before you leave. Let me ask you something. Now, at the beginning, you told us what you were doing, what's happening in your life, when you get up, what your 9 to 5 is, or your 9 to 12, depending on how you look at it and how much time you spend. My question is, how are young people, or how are you surviving in this economy? So yes, we know what your profession is, we know what you do, but how are you really surviving in the economy in Barbados at this time? Now, I would like for you to, you've seen this video on Instagram? Anybody? Any of you? Don? Okay. Let's react. Let me get your reaction. You haven't seen it. Okay, good. Have you seen it, Janine?
No, I haven't.
So let's react to this video. Okay, go ahead, Dave. Play it, please.
PriceSmart as an option to get items at a lower cost. Based on my household, I asked her if I buy garbage bags, Clorox wipes, dishwashing soap, toilet paper, and paper towels, how much am I saving? She told me I'd save about 250 Barbados dollars by shopping at PriceSmart instead of a supermarket. Macaroons, if you know another way to save money on household items in Barbados, I'd love to hear about it. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.
Oh, that's the wrong one, Dave. That's the wrong one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah. The buying in bulk would definitely
The
help.
buying in bulk. Right. So talk to me about the economy. Talk to me about the economy. How do you, okay, which one is this? Okay. Let's try this.
Barbados dollars a month. This video is for you. I asked ChatGPT to create a monthly budget for me in Barbados using 1,600 Barbados dollars, which is the monthly minimum wage. She basically said, "No, honey, a single person needs about 5,000 Barbados dollars a month, but I'll see what I can do." So she allocated about 700 Barbados dollars towards groceries and then told me where to shop. She listed PriceSmart as an option to get items at a lower cost. Based on my household, I asked her if I buy garbage bags, Clorox wipes, dishwashing soap, toilet paper, and paper towels, how much am I saving? She told me I'd save about 250 Barbados dollars by shopping at PriceSmart instead of a supermarket. Macaroons, if you know another way to save money on household items in Barbados, I'd love to hear about it. I'll see you all in my next video.
Okay. So the point of that, and if Dave could put back the video up just so we can read the caption, is that she asked ChatGPT, is she work for $1,600, which is minimum wage, right? Would how could she live in Barbados? And ChatGPT says absolutely not. You need about $5,000 a month. And I see Janine, you're laughing. What happened? Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because ChatGPT for the first time might be even wrong. You may need a bit more. I think that because for PriceSmart, you can only really buy to get cheaper stuff will be the same toiletries that she picked up. You cannot go in there and buy rice and stuff like that for an average family that will be working for that amount of money. That person will have to go to Popular if you're working for the minimum wage, or to even Cherish to be able to afford a meal. Well, if you're really doing a Sunday meal, it can cost you about the same $250 for that particular day. If it depends on the family. And so I only saw her picked up things to clean with and stuff like that, which in reality that's what most people go to PriceSmart for cookies or pizza or something like that. But to pick up your everyday items, like if you're doing meat and rice, tuna, stuff like that, you're not going to already buy it from PriceSmart for on a minimum wage. No.
Wow. What's your reaction to this video, Don?
Well, yeah, again, it shows how ChatGPT and the internet can be used to help you figure out certain things.
But somebody here said, "How ChatGPT will know what's going on in Barbados?" You
ChatGPT
know,
knows everything. ChatGPT, it just knows. It's like God. Well, I just joking. It's not like God, but it knows. It can scour the internet, so it'll pull up like Massey.com, PriceSmart.com, Popular.com, and then it'll literally scan through the whole website, and be like, okay, a loaf of bread at Massey is 5, a loaf of bread at Popular is 4. You know what I mean? It does like that, and that's how it's able to work. So that's why, that I've said most of what I said in tonight's conversation, because with the use of free AI now, you can really learn anything. The information is so easily available at your fingertips. For a single person, 5,000 sounds about right. If you want to have like a comfortable, stress-free life, you definitely would need around 5,000. I know lots of people on this call are making do with a lot less. Probably some people on this call have children and are making do with a lot less. But Barbados, the reality of it is we're one of the most expensive countries in the world. Even a lot of the tourists that are coming here from America and Britain and all the other wealthier countries are complaining about it. Because if they go into Burger King in America, a Whopper costs $1. Whereas here in Barbados, the Bajan Whopper costs $8, which is so it's about 4 times the price. So for most items, and at the end of the day, even though Barbados does have the highest minimum wage in the Caribbean, it still does have the highest prices. Like our fuel price is the second highest in the world, only to Hong Kong, I believe. And there's no reasons for our prices to be artificially inflated like this. Obviously, it has a lot to do with the government's decisions that they're making at this point in time. Without making it too political, this particular government run by Mia Motley has borrowed more money than any other government in Barbados history. And the only real way for us to pay back that borrowed money is with taxes. Barbados doesn't produce oil. It doesn't produce natural gas. It doesn't have gold. It doesn't have timber. We don't have anything for sale like Guyana or Jamaica or any of these other places. So the only way when you borrow money as the Barbadian government to pay it back is to increase our taxes. So our taxes have been increased under this administration, again, more so than any other administration in history. And I assume young people are quite frustrated about it.
Yeah. But so you're agreeing that it will be about 5,000 is a month. It's really about what you need and not the minimum wage. But do you know a lot of people who are getting minimum wage, they have 2 or 3 children. And
well, you're in reality, if you're working for minimum wage, you can need 2 or 3 jobs as well. You can't. They're on $10 is 80 a day. 80 times 5 is 400. 400 times 4, 1,600 a month. You can't. There's no way that you could survive like rent, food, transportation. It's just not possible.
It's not possible. So, that's why. So Theirry, you're the 22-year-old one here. You're the baby. You're our baby here tonight, right? And what's your initial reaction? Because you saw this video, right? What was your initial reaction to this video?
3 points. One, surviving on less than 5,000 is rough. Yeah. 2, I firmly believe that I think that we can do better as a country, but as Dawn said, with the circumstances and governmental policies, it will be difficult regarding that. But
before you go off into the let's make it real. You said that it's going to be tough. Explain what is tough.
No, I was saying surviving under 5,000 is tough.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Okay.
Break it down.
All right. So basically, as Janine mentioned, you have persons with families. Yeah. Kids. Now, if you go to school or you have 2 children, they go to school. A primary school bike might cost you $100 to maybe $200-$300. Yeah. Then you still have to give the children allowance. Yeah, allowance every month 50 by we say 4 weeks. How much is that? You're basically looking at like 200 something around there. It's 200, yeah. So now you keep going. You still have to look for lunch for yourself. You're still going to buy groceries. Groceries might come at cost like 1,200 somewhere around there, right? Now add up all of that. You're looking at basically 300,000. Sorry, talking for business. Three grand gone already. Yeah, you still have to save. You still might need to pay for gas. You might still have to pay for your bills. So your money gone. And most persons may not even bring $4,000 a month in this country. That's the truth. So that's just some rough estimations in my head. If anybody looking at my mass, that's guesstimating right now. But the thing about it is that it's extremely difficult, given the cost of things, to survive in this country. Yeah, if you don't, I think we had this conversation last year, and they did a whole no, what was it? Presentation. Yeah, I did a presentation on revenues. Remember, I did that on multiple
Yes,
revenues.
yes.
Yeah, multiple revenue streams. So if you don't have two or three different revenue streams, and your goose is, I'm gonna use a perfect example, right? I have a friend, and he has three sons. Yeah, all of them are in primary school. He works three jobs a day, right, to support his three sons. Obviously, his wife will support as well. But just give you that example, man has to work three jobs just to support his family in this country. He don't get time for himself at all. Barely get time to bring them to their activities.
Yeah.
So let that sink in, right? And that's my first point. The second one I was saying, I didn't agree with Don in terms of the governmental policies. Yeah, my third thing is your ChatGPT maybe not as accurate, and you should use a product called LAI. It's going to be accurate pertaining to Caribbean information and
That's your company.
if you're budgeting, you can budget correctly, looking at Solo and those other companies, and that the general internet may not have, but we will have that. You can easily research and do better research. So LAI coming to you August 31st. Thank you very much.
Nice plug. Yes, go ahead, Janine.
All right, I wanted to jump in there to add into what Theirry was saying. I want people to also consider for a person who's working right now, any parent, and he was talking about the father. There's a reality that there are a lot of single parents out there. I don't know who would have went on Woolworth page recently. This is just an example of one of the many places who will be selling uniforms. A particular one overall for a child right now is $100. A skirt is about 75. That is only one. So if you continue to do the maths, here today we're talking about the school buys for 100 and 200. That might be a narcissist or square ground. Some people can't get that this year theory. But if you go to the school shoes, person may have to purchase cheaper school shoes and it can cost the parent more because the school shoe might not last the entire term. So a parent would have to wear an expensive school shoe. So I think that people should also take all of these things into account when talking about how the finances are for persons, how much the minimum wage could afford. We really have to think about these things.
Yeah. I know Zico was out. I don't know if he had a chance to actually hear or see the video.
I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Yes. What's your initial reaction on this video? Anything else that these guys haven't said? What's your reaction?
I echo every single one. It's really scary. I think we're becoming our island where you have to have multiple streams of income just to stay afloat. I don't care what job you have, but it's really, really scary. I do believe that is close. The ball figure is probably close, but I guess you can bring it down. Probably if you had a little experience with working on a budget, yeah. But if you really want to be eating healthy and doing things the right way, it's probably going to come at a close to $5,000 monthly to survive. Not talking about the rent, the groceries, transportation, gas. I mean, just everyday essential items that you will need. Is ridiculous.
Yeah. Someone, let me just read a little of the comments here. Somebody said, which supermarket, Don, are you going to that you're spending $1,000 plus on groceries? We're talking per month.
I think that's Theirry. I didn't comment on the groceries thing.
Yeah, but that is easy. We're talking about per month.
Yeah, but any supermarket, to be honest.
Any supermarket. What you talking about? You Theirry, you had your hand up. What you gonna say to Al? about
Yeah,
this?
any supermarkets you got super Zender. You popular is cheaper, but if you really you going from supermarket to market, you billion come out about 1,000, somewhere around there, maybe 800. The rough guesstimate. Yeah, for me, I could really come and tell you like, you know what I mean, something wrong, yeah, around there, not to expose to me, but something around there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
So
the thing about it,
somebody's asking then to so how to get why people are how I mean they're going to so many feds. If you're saying, Don, that the minimum wage is so, it's high in comparison to some Caribbean countries, there are about two that are actually above Barbados, but the prices are so high. How come they're going to all these feds and all of that? Don, you hearing this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You
How
want to play this video first?
uh, uh,
You planning to play this video on your
before
screen?
I play the
Oh,
before I play the video, I probably should let me bring back Zico in because he didn't say much. Zico, how many what about patrons at going to people going to so much pets and so on? How is this happening if we're saying that the minimum wage is not can't suffice?
Believe it or not, Marcy, a lot of people actually do take out small loans, back to school loans, to survive throughout the season. I know it sounds ridiculous, but a
But
lot
to
of
go
people
to
just,
pets,
yeah,
back
they
to
do.
school loans, to go to pets.
Back to school loans and small loans, yeah, throughout this season, to enjoy the festival. That's the reality of it. And then the ones that can afford it,
Wow.
I
Is this
guess they try to go to the all inclusive. Some
somebody say $1,000 at
that you
tipsy.
save for some to help.
I think he's sticking. Is he sticking or am I sticking?
Yeah, I
he's
Yes, yeah.
sticking a bit.
He's sticking a bit. Well, let's play the video. Let's play this video here, guys.
Good morning, my darling Prime Minister. Me darling, mi amor. The $300 done. The $300 is finished. So I was wondering if you could give us another $300 because I'm broke. Please and thank you. Bye. Mwah.
You'd seen this before, Don? You saw this before?
No, no. I would love you to send me that one. That one funny.
Yeah. Well, we gotta play that one too nice and short. They played one more time, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one. I can tell she's from Jamaica. Play it again. Play it again, Dave. Dave, come again. Wheeler, come again. We got to come again. Oh Lordy. Listen, anybody out there saw this one? Dave, you're taking Mr. Selector taking so long. But in the meantime, okay, it's coming. Yeah.
Good morning, my darling Prime Minister. Me darling, mi amor. The $300 done. The $300 is finished. So I was wondering if you could give us another $300 because I'm broke. Please and thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Dad, you're smiling this wildness about this thing. Why are you laughing like that, Dad? What's your reaction to this? We're reacting to these videos. Your reaction.
I mean, it's just generally very funny. And then everybody's gonna have their own view on the whole $300 thing, and that would be a separate discussion. But yeah, everything she said is completely true. Their government keep boasting about spending 40 to 50 million on those $300 disbursements. And in my honest opinion, it's just kind of like a payout because I think elections are coming. It happened right at the time when the St. James North by-election was happening. is
Mhm.
essentially buying votes. Like if you, and that's my opinion on it. I would love to hear the rest of the panel though, because that's more a
Mhm.
discussion for another time.
Yes, yeah. Janine, Janine. First of all, be honest. Did you take the $300? Who took the $300 of the four of you on here? Anybody took the $300?
You know?
So Theirry took the $300. And Zico took the $300. You took the
I
$300.
I
Yeah.
don't pay an NIS, so I don't think I could get.
You didn't even check. You didn't even check. So
I don't.
Janine,